Hello, everyone. This is what Gord would do. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate Gordon MacLean. My name is Al Brown, and I am honored to have been asked to give the eulogy to my dear and longtime friend, Gord. Thank you, Carla. The theme for today will be laughter, and I apologize now for any off-color, offensive, or foul language.
No apology necessary.
I didn't hear you. But thank you, and I apologize up front. Gord and I have been friends for over 30 years. We came to know each other through work on the job site. We hit it off immediately, and our friendship had continued and remained solid no matter how much time had passed or how many miles were between us. We always picked up where we left off. We had a lot in common. Most evident, I think, was our love for laughter. And that's the theme for today, laughter, because that's the way Gord would want it. Gord laughed hard and was never without a good joke. The life of the party, it was always fun when Gord was in the room. Speaking of laughter, quick story, Gord was really dangerous with a microphone. Quick story, I'll go back to Christmas party at the beach club, Parksville. We let Gord, I think he arrived, he was working on the island or something at that time. I can't remember all the details, but he came to our Christmas party, and I said, Gord, introduce yourself, and all that kind of stuff. And I remember I was saying a bunch of stuff. And here, Gord, introduce yourself. He did, and he started telling a story about him coming to Canada. And I don't know if they have these days in the washrooms, but you guys remember even at your school, you had that sink you stepped on? You stepped on the pedal and the water come out of a fountain. Remember, just a wash basin? So he come from Scotland, and he arrived on a job, and he went into the men's room, and he thought, shit, he's looking around, he didn't see any urinals, so he started pissing in this sink. And the guy walked in, and Gord's pissing in the sink, and the guy's, hey, how you doing there? Hi, mate. And the guy said, what are you doing? He said, you're pissing in the sink. He said, I thought this was the toilet. He said, no, we don't have those in Scotland. Canada, we wash our hands or nothing. We don't piss. He told that story at the Christmas party. But what was funny to me, the Christmas party, after I had to yank the mic out of his hand, we hired a hypnotist to hypnotize some of the people, sit on a chair, and that was kind of a fun thing for us to do before the dinner or after the dinner. And some of the girls in the front row, wearing short dresses, were hypnotized, and they slumped over, and their legs were kind of open. And Gord came up to me and said, Al, I don't know if you noticed, and Gord's the kind of guy that would notice a guy like, 3 stories up in a bike rack without a high-vis vest on. Very observant guy, okay? He didn't miss a beat with this one. He said, that girl over there with the red, they took a tablecloth and put over her legs. It was pretty obvious. And then he said, that girl's not wearing knickers. I didn't notice. I didn't. Thanks for telling me.
Knickers.
You guys, hey, I might as well tell this. It was 2000. I was the construction manager for Scaffold Connection. Gord was working in Medicine Hat, Alberta. We were being taken over by a company out of the States. Remember Bobby Boggs, Brian? We had been summoned to the head office in Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. And it was kind of a dress-up thing. You gotta, oh shit, we gotta go to Markburg Warehouse and get the doctors and the fancy shoes and the shit and the nice shirt. And so Gord went out, he showed up with a full-on suit, okay? So we're all laughing at him, and there's like 10 managers there, all these branches all over the country. And we go through the whole day and all, they're introducing how they're gonna change the world and make it a bigger, better place. And I hope there's no Americans in this room right now, because I don't have this particular company and this particular guy, I don't have a lot of time for it. But, and Gordon and I were sitting together for most of the meetings, and he's all dressed up, we had lunch and all that shit. And it was coming to the end, and he wanted to talk about GST, they were just bringing GST. Oh, fuck, how boring is this gonna be? I said, Gordon, we gotta come up with a plan to get out of here, like this meeting, like I know it's gonna end in an hour, but I'm done, like let's go to the pub. He says, we can't, he, like the big boss is here from the States, and I said, you know what, I got an idea. Put my hand up, big long table, boardroom table. Bobby Boggs is this guy's name. I said, Bobby, can Gordon and I be excused because he rented that suit and we got to have it back by 4:30. He said, I'll tell you what you can do. Everyone laughed at the whole thing. They were kind of, he took it like they were laughing at him. He said, both of you guys can get your ass out of here right now. So Gordon and I just grabbed our shit and we took off and went to the pub. They got to get sticking up their ass. If I was to say something to, well, anybody in this room, does anyone know what illegitimate non-carborundum means?
Don't let the bastards get you down.
Drag it down.
Quiet. He's a cheater. That girl can read from across the room. Anybody know what that means? I used to go to Castlegar a lot. We were awarded a big contract back in 91. I hired Gord. Actually, I was forced to hire Gord through Kmart. You guys are too young to know what Kmart is, probably. They make the digesters. We were at a pretty big job, and the guy said, if you hire Gordon MacLean, because he came in and mine and his birthday is on the same day, January 14th. If you hire that guy, you got the job. Oh, fuck, this is like a $5 million job. And all I could do is hire that freaking Scotsman. So took Gord out for a beer at the, I forget the name of the pub in Castlegar. Talked him into coming. Gord will give you the phone and the truck and all that shit. So we became friends, and I spent 2 years going back and forth to Castlegar. But every time I left, he would say, illegitimate non-carborundum. How do you say that? Say it out loud.
Josh.
Heard that before, Mary.
And so
Yeah.
that's it. And I always thought that was a Scottish thing. And I don't know that he's a Scotsman. That's just some shit they say back when they're, shearing their sheep and all that shit. Back in the day. And but it really means, the Latin term for that is, don't let the bastards grind you down. That's what that means. I'll pass that around. That was important to me, you guys, and that was pinned in my garage. I wrote it with my own handwriting, asking him to spell it for me, not knowing what it meant. But it meant something to me because I always tried to figure it out. I thought it was a Scottish thing. And it was just, you know what, no matter what you're doing, all your jobs, all your stress, the equipment didn't show up, fuck 10 guys didn't show up, the customers being an asshole to me. Don't let the bastards grind you down. We'll get over it. We'll get through it. And you know what? He lived by that. So
That's awesome.
that's nice, yeah. Everyone loved Gord. Gord's family was very important to him. I've been in touch with Gord's family, both in Scotland and Australia. Older sister, Moira, in Scotland, and younger brother, Kenny, 2 years younger, in Australia. And they were unable to be here with us today, but asked them to convey some of their favorite memories and stories of Gord. I connected with Moira first, and she's quite a character. Aaron, are you on the phone? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Al.
We gave you the thumbs up. Huh?
Aaron,
Yep.
you can talk.
Okay, yeah, Al, I'm here.
Aaron, nice touch. You should know this too, Carla. Moira was very touched with the call from Aaron.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Very. She said that what a nice man. And I was thinking to myself, she's never met him. So
You're right there, Al.
nice touch for calling Moira. But when I was talking to Moira, I we talked for a little while. I was out walking. I had a headset in. I had lots of time. And said, tell me some stuff. Tell me some stories about my old buddy back in Scotland and stuff. She's 10 years older than Gord. They're very close, you can tell. And she said she's not technical savvy. She has a landline, no computer, no cell phone. And she said she lives a very simple life. And she said when the kids were growing up, Kenny, she called the kids, right, the boys, when they were growing up, she remembers them, in the fields and working the farm and this kind of stuff. And she can't erase that from her memory. I said, what about current stuff? Anything I could share with this room today? She said, I used to come home and Gordy would call me from Canada, a whole different time zone away. And I used to love seeing the light on my answering machine and it'd be Gord's message. And she said, Al, I knew it was a long message because he told the whole story from the last time we spoke, and it's long. And she said, Al, do you believe it that I had to get up 2 times and go to the toilet? Because she had to pause Gord's message because he talks a lot, right? Anyway, so back in New Brunswick, Gord worked at Irving Oil back then, back in the Scalp Connection days. He ran the operation back there for us. And he invited his sister out to New Brunswick. So she came out and he was up late the night before, making a bunch of noise, so the fella that lived upstairs said. And Gord went to work the morning after. The roommate said, geez, your brother, I can't believe you stayed up late that night making your bed. She said, my brother's never made my bed my whole life. She said, well, he was up late. I heard all this noise going on. So when he came home from work, Moira cornered him and said, why were you up so late? Like, you should have got some sleep because you're going to work the next day. You're making my bed. He said, no, I was making your bed, but I was really making your bed. And he said, come with me, Moira. So they took her in. It was in the room, the spare room he had, lifted up the sheets, and it was 3 sets of pallets. He went to work and got and put on the floor, screwed them all together and threw the mattress on the pallets. He made that's what he didn't want. So, but he made the pallets and put something over the pallets. And so the roommate said that's what he was doing. He heard the screwing and nailing and stuff like that. She said only a brother would do that. So only that brother. Moya finished off with me by saying, well, I'm not very sophisticated. I don't do a lot of the modern day stuff like a lot of people do. But she said, I want this room to know that I'm a hugger. Would you do something for me? Whatever you want. What do you want me to do? Kenny, younger brother Kenny, born in 59, talks just like Gord. You guys to Kenny, and he uses that in his language. And Gord, you're known as lads. You must have heard him say that word. I'm gonna have a beer with the lads. Let's go with the lads. Let's go. How are the lads? Kenny wrote this and sent it to me, texted it to me, and I'm going to read it out to you. And it's written how he wrote it. I didn't correct the grammar or anything. So, there are so many good times we had, but I would say our glory days as kids was when we went on our holidays to our uncle's farm in the Scottish Highlands. We were in our element, running free without a care in the world, across the heather hills. Usually there are harvest and shearing time, and love the work. We got the taste for the pale ale. They used bottles of ale in the river to keep it cool, and at knockoff, they'd crack open the bottles and we would get a cup full too. truly magical and wonderful times. If Gordon took the time to speak to any of you lads, him, a wonderful man. He's a good friend. That's from Kenny, younger brother. Okay, there's an old dinosaur on this video right there. And his name's Kevin Arnold. I don't see him up there. I don't know if he snapped out, but a lot of people know Kevin Arnold. He's an old scaffolder, retired now. Heard of him years ago with Gord. And one thing's for sure, Gil or Brian, whoever prices jobs, one thing you never ever do is put Gord and Kevin on a firm price job. Because they talk so much. They take they bring profits in the parking lot, telling the story when they should be working. So in the end, for me, when I was working, you only put those two guys on time and material. That's Kevin right there. Message from my old boy. And I know Kevin, we last time I saw Gordon on the island, I'm talking to Kevin right now, there he is. We went to the Longwood Pub in Nanaimo. And Gord was coming up here, Gil, to work with you. And I went down with a big bottle of scotch and presented it to him at the Longwood. And the girls there wanted to take it from our table. And he said, no, it's a gift from us. He said, no, I'll just put it behind the bar. He said, no, we're not going to fucking drink this thing in the bar. It's a present I have this guy. So she ended up taking it anyway. Just she won, she works there. Either way, that buddy of mine there, Kevin, I'm about to read a note from Kevin. And Kevin, you guys have been friends for a long time, and I'm very pleased to be doing this for you, okay? Ode to Gordy. I first met Gordon in the latter part of 1990s. We were doing a pole mill shutdown in Vancouver Island for Island Scaffold, which started a lifelong friendship. Although we followed different paths in the scaffold industry, we stayed in touch and would work together in different jobs over the years. Gordon and I had one distinct similarity, and that we both enjoyed telling and hearing a good joke and laughing when the joke was about ourselves or our nationality. Gord, of course, was always in the brunt of my Scottish jokes and the myth of penny pinching. One of my favorite jokes to Gord was, what's the difference between a Dutchman and a Scotsman moving? Oh, no, a Dutchman and a Scotsman removing wallpaper. No takers? A Dutchman removes wallpaper when he's renovating. A Scotsman removes wallpaper when he's moving.
Oh my God.
All that new Gord, his smile, wit, humor, and caring ways would turn him into a person that you would not easily forget. Gord met Carla when she worked at the Nanaimo office some years ago. Such a great lady, and over the past few years, when I would text or talk to Gord, I would always ask, how's my girlfriend doing? Or just phone up and ask to speak to Carla. I send her love and respect. Young Jakes and all the ISSL crew and office staff, I send my sincere thoughts to you all. Also to the staff and friends, I made at Casey's Pub. I lived there in the Fort St. John area for many years. Lastly, Big Mac. I know you're looking down and smiling and hoping to hear some new jokes and telling everybody to get on with the celebration. And no tears. Until we meet again, my friend, Kevin Earl. Kala. No, Kala. I can't erase this out of my head. Gord came out to Vancouver Island. I was in the office and you were doing something. He said, "Hey, Al, what's the deal with the girl in the office?" I said, "Well, you know, I'm not running. I'm not like, you know, you're a Tinder here. So what are you asking?" And he said, "I'd like to ask her out on a date." I said, "Oh, well, that's, you know, not within the company rule. You can, sure, she's a nice girl." He said, "How do I do that?" I said, "Well, geez, Gordon, you're freaking fucking years old. I don't know. You want me to answer for you?" So I said, "I got an idea. Let's videotape it. Go tomorrow at work." So I videotaped my phone, hold up to Gordy's head, just see his face. And I said, he said, "Is it on?" I said, "Yeah, it's on, Gord. Yeah, it's on." "Hello, Kala. Would you like to go for supper?" And I shut it off. And you guys, did you go down to the place by Brian's house? What's that name of that? Sawmill?
Oh, the up
Yeah. Okay. That's, hello, Kala. Anyway, that's great memory, by the way. When you, the Gord said at the bottom, you're COVID free, just having a barbecue with you. He sent me that, and it's the same picture. That's why I said that earlier. So, anyway, great memory for me. I needed 500 write-ins for a job. I was doing in Crofton in 2001, early September 2001, and you'll connect the dots about the date when I tell the story. So I phoned around all the branches. We didn't have the inventory control shit like you guys do these days. And I said, Gord had the clamps in Medicine Hat, Alberta. And I remember he had a company truck. It was a dually Chevy truck. And I said, "Gord, I need these clamps. Can you put them on a courier or something, get them out to Crofton?" I'm not doing fuck all for the next couple of days." He said, "I haven't been in the island in a while." I said, "Well, I kind of need them, you know, in the next couple of days. So, you know, I don't know if you're going to take a holiday coming out here, but I kind of need them." The next day, Gord phoned me. He's on the ferry from Medicine Hat. It's a 2-day drive, carrying 500 clamps in the back of the truck. By the way, they weren't in the box, lifted on the fork. They were freaking thrown on by hand. So I've been trying to get the 500 clamps out of your truck by hand. Anyway, phoned me from the ferry and said, "Oh, can you get, what hotel can you stay at? What's near your house?" I said, "Where are you?" "I'm on the ferry." I said, No. Come to my house. You're going to stay at my house, and we got the clamps for tomorrow. Run them down." And Pat was there, then Pat Doherty. So we're going to go down and unload the clamps and shit. Let's go to the house. Okay. So my wife made us dinner. We're kissing around in the house and, you know, having lots of cocktails and shit. He's probably burnt out from driving. And we're ready to go out in the backyard. I have a fire pit in the backyard. That's a different house I've been down. And he said, "Oh, I got a request for you. Do you mind asking your wife if I can do something?" I said, "Yeah, what is it?" He said, "Can I read that story to your little girl?" Anybody got kids here? Anybody got kids? See that? My little girl Sarah was 2. Her sister was 7. I said to my wife, "Gord wants to read the kid's book." She said, he doesn't. He's never done that. So I just, you know, I keep reading kids little stories, and I'm here. And it definitely wasn't the booze talk. And he was in the house, and the kids went and put their pajamas on. Sarah did. Jumped up on her bunk bed, puffed all the pillows up. Gord went. There were short little bunk beds, and back then, shit we got from IKEA or somewhere. And anyway, Gord's laying there against the pillows, and he's his socks, and had a big hole in his sock. And he's sitting there. He says, Sada, green eggs and ham." And then Sarah or Hillary wanted to jump in, and Sarah got to turn the pages in the book. And he's reading. He's never read a kid a story. He said he never read a kid a story anyway, and she's only 2. And they're flipping the pages, and then he said, "Gord, are the eggs really green? Now, do you think the fucking eggs are really green?" said, Jesus. It's my fucking kid. And it was magical, you guys. It was pretty cool. My buddies, you know, that's a long time ago now. And by the way, if there's pictures shown, I got a wonderful picture of my two girls with an Oilers shirt on, and they're drinking wine in my house a year ago now. At the table, you'll see Hillary and Sarah both signing arms on him with that Oilers shirt on. Pretty cool. So when the kids went to bed, Gordon and I went outside by the fire pit, and we're probably all guilty of this, at least sometime in our life. We're drinking wine, and wine out of a box. We didn't have the shit like, you know, we didn't. Well, we don't have a personal sommelier in the backyard at that house. But anyway, we're drinking wine out of a box. I know we all did it. And if the fire's going, you know, my wife goes to bed, kids are all sleeping, and we're telling stories and solving world problems, and things are good. I don't know about you guys, but at the end of a box of wine, when the night's not quite over yet, you friggin' rip the cardboard out, you squish it all down in, get that, put the thing just squirting in each other's mouth. And we already had a shirt on he had from Mexico. Pretty proud of the shirt, by the way. And the friggin' wine's dripping off his face and down here and right down his shirt. And so, okay, so anyway, time to go to bed. Let's go to bed. So we had a shower, doused the fire, and went to bed. The next morning, it was 9/11. I got up, my wife's making breakfast, kids are going to school, big kids. And the TV's on. We had a little 14-inch big fat back on the TV in those days. Holy frig, these fucking planes are flying into these buildings and we're having breakfast and the world's about to change on us, which it has. And, you know, I always remember that. And for most of the people here, you'll always remember probably where you were on 9/11. I'll remember who I was with. I've got, I don't even know which one to pick here. My wife asked me to tell a story. She put a birthday party on for me, surprise birthday party. The house was freaking 40 people in my house. The blinds are closed. I'm out on some kind of a wine tour with my kids. My two boys took me out to get me out of the house. The house was filled up. Caterer lady there and all that shit. Furniture moved out of the garage. It was a bunch of shit going on in that house. And quiet, everything. So she had the blinds closed. Were you in the house at that point, Brian? Yeah. It's quiet. Oh, if you see lights coming down the driveway, oh, Elle's coming home and the two boys, you know, it's going to be a surprise. All that shit. It's a fucking cab with Gordon. And she fucking comes down the driveway. We got a driveway 400 feet long. And he's coming down, you see his headlights, and you can see the thing says cab on it. Like, well, who's here in that cab? Like, they should be in the house. Like, this party, he's not going to be surprised. Gordon's going to fuck the whole thing up. Right? So Gordon gets out of the cab, one door open, leg out, pays the cabbie. He's got 12 beer under his hands. He walks in the house and, hey, what's going on? My wife opened the door. You were there, Brian. Anyway, he said, get the hell in the house here. They haven't arrived yet. You know, you haven't screwed it up yet. So anyway, just a crazy, crazy guy. I went to Calcigar about every 2 weeks when I lived in Vancouver, but I went to Calcigar because Gordon ran this job for us. I said, Gordon, I'm taking you skiing. We're going to go to Roslyn. Not Roslyn, Red Mountain. Red Mountain? In Roslyn, yeah, okay. And let's go skiing and, you know, make sure someone looks after the job and get everybody started. And we'll go up and ski for the day and come home and have dinner. So I said, Gordon, you wouldn't believe I'm staying at this hotel. They make the most unbelievable sandwiches, the borscht and all that shit they made, the Russian people make it there. And I said, these are unbelievable. We love food. I said, I'm going to get a couple of sandwiches made for our ski trip. Put them in the truck. You know? Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. So he met me at the hotel and I said, did you get sandwiches? Oh yeah, I got for sure. They're in the back. I got like 4 each, you know? So we're driving all the way from, it's 20 minutes from the hotel, probably through the trail and then up the hill. So we get up there and I can't wait for lunch. Geez, these sandwiches are going to be unfriggin' real. Got all the way up the hill, got out of the truck. Okay, we're looking around. We forgot our fucking ski equipment. It was in the locker at the hotel. We were so worried about these sandwiches. Who cares? We went to the pub. We didn't even go skiing. It didn't matter. So, a few years after the Green Eggs and Ham, Gordon was at our house and we're having a session, telling stories and all that kind of stuff. Comes at the end of the night and Gord said, "You have a scotch?" "Yeah, I got a bit of a collection here. Come on, what do you want? I'll teach you anything you want." Fills up a glass of scotch and he's by the stairway going up to where the bedroom is. And he says, "I have a request." And, "Oh yeah, what do you need now? Like we had dinner and like, like the tap shut off here. Like, what do you want? What do you want?" So he said, "I only have one request." He said, the scotch, and he had 1 foot on the stair to go up to the boys' room and sleep in his bed. He says, "Do you mind if I sleep with Winston?" That was my dog. I got a 100-pound chocolate lab. And "Do you mind if Winston comes to sleep with me?" Because up there's a king size bed, lots of room for a dog, and him too. And I said, "Gordon, this gives brand new meaning to me for the term, like fucking the dog." I said, you know that he's a boy, right? Like,
Oh my God.
he said, "No, I'm not kidding." He said, "I'm up there, I'm by myself, and I got the scotch, and one of the times, do you think Winston could sleep with her?" My wife's standing right beside me, and she can't believe what she's hearing. Who wants to sleep with her dog? So, but he loved animals. Right? So, anyways, he just whistled, and that dog follows you. So upstairs he goes with his scotch in his hand and around the corner, and then I didn't see the dog till the next morning. So anyway, what a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Gordon was a proud Scotchman. He's proud of his trade in the scaffolding industry. He was a good guy, and I'm grateful for the impact he's had on my life. I'm very lucky to have known him. Dimitri, can you step out for just a second? Can I get a round of applause for this guy right here? It's clear to me, I got you for the first time today, clear to me that Gord's had an impact on your life, and thanks for being friends, and thanks for opening up this venue for this celebration. Very much appreciate it. Very nice. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Kim Green, the superwoman from the industrial office in Nanaimo, to come up, and I've picked out a poem. It's a Scottish poem about friendship, and I'm sure this is what Gord would feel about you guys and how he would remember you. So Kim knows this. Do you want to read it off here?
I have to read it off here.
I had it. That's big font.
Want to do that? Oh, yeah, I can.
I'll let Kim do that, and then we'll go.
Give me a sec. Is that one an M2?
My phone on that table.
Your laptop down just to hear Kim.
Here,
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
do this.
Okay. So may the scents of the heather, that's a flower, and bonny bluebell
So is that.
waft a message to you that no words can tell. May the links of our friendship keep steadfast and true. Good fortune and health be ever with you.
Hey, cheers to my old buddy Gordy, you guys. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Cheers. And at this time, we'd like to ask anyone in the room that would like to come up and say a few things about Gord, please do.
I'm going to start. So I have worked with Gord for just over 10 years. So I had to write stuff down. So my intent was to actually stand here and share with you guys some of the funny emails that Gord had written to me over the many years. I was telling Gillen today that I had gone through over 1,000 emails the last couple of days because there were some dating back to 2010 at least that I knew I had some interesting ones. So one of the emails, and like Al says, sorry for the words that I'm going to use. So January 13th in 2016, he had sent me an email. We had gone back and forth, usually me asking him to send stuff into the office, typically. But at the end of the email, he talked about that the weather there, it's -38 on Monday night, -10 tonight, and back to minus fucking 3,000 for this weekend. Who couldn't love Saskatchewan? I'm going to propose that we flood this part of Saskatchewan. Fuck it. Flood the whole province. And then it will be the world's biggest skating rink in the winter, September to March, and then use it as Canada's septic system in the summer. The seagulls, you know, the seagulls fly upside down here as there is nothing worth shitting on. Yes. I do have many other ones, but that one wasn't. I jokes that Gord has sent to me over the years, which I've printed for Carla so she can look at them at night, she said, when she goes to bed. So Gord and I had a bit of a rivalry when it came to hockey. He is an avid Oilers fan, which everybody knows. I am an avid Canucks fan. So Gord would always battle with me many times. In 2015, we had made a bet. I think it was in 2015, at some point, he was back east in, where did he at? New Brunswick. And he would always talk to me about eating lobster. So I made him a bet, which I think was about during the playoff time, that if the Canucks went further, or if the Canucks knocked out Edmonton, something along that lines, he had to buy me lobster. So I'm pretty sure I did win the bet, but what Gord actually did was Gord ordered a full entire case. I don't know how many showed up, but he ordered a full case of lobster, had it shipped to Victoria. I drove down to Victoria to pick it up, and it had a whole entire lobster fest at the office that day. All care of Gord. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was June 4th of 2015. So we had pictures of it. I know Al and Brian have a picture together of the lobster to remind Gord of it. It was great. So I know that Gord loved working with his crews. I've heard many stories of him in Kamloops always cooking barbecues at lunch, which sometimes we probably think that he should have been back working, but he was always looking after his crews. I know he thought the world of you guys out there at Site C. So I know he will be by your guys' side every day you guys are out there working and keeping you guys safe, okay? I will end on my note with Gord that I remember the last thing I said to him on the Thursday. He walked into Aaron's truck that day, and all I could say to him is, "Hey, Gord, go Canucks, go." So they will prevail. Thanks.
Good job, Kim.
Sister. I'm not the ugliest crier of the three of us. She is. I'm the middle. My husband is also Scottish. And house. And he reached out to his mom, who was born in Scotland. Asked if she knew of anything that you could read to or send to Cubby. And this is from Kevin. It's called These Are My Mountains. And it's written, there's a few words. It's written the Scottish. For fame and fortune, I wandered the earth, and now I go back to the land of my birth. I brought back my treasures, but only to profit. They're less than the pleasures I first left behind. For these are my mountains, and this is my glen. The great of my childhood will know me again. The lands never claimed me, for far did I roam. For these are my mountains, and I'm going home. The bird by the road sings at my going by. The walk over my wings with dog. The lockbird's heart flies as fast as I can see. At last I can see. It's here my heart lies. It's here I'll be free. My faces will meet me and welcome me in, and how they will greet me, my ain kith and kin. The night round the ingle, old songs will be sung, and I'll be hearing my ain mother tongue. The graves of my childhood will know me again. The lands as far as so far did I roam, for these are my mountains, and I'm going